नमस्कार, आप सबका मेरे इस पॉडकास्ट सीरीज अ वर्ल्ड फॉर एवरीवन के इस नए एपिसोड में स्वागत है। मैं हूं प्रोफेसर आलोक कुमार राय, वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लखनऊ। आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही नामचीन गेस्ट हैं एंड क्वाइट अनलाइक द गेस्ट हु वी हैव बीन होस्टिंग. Normally, they hail from university authorities and university position holders. Today, we have a very renowned academician, director of Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, Professor P.K. Singh ji.
Namaskar.
Most welcome to this podcast series, A World for Everyone. The very first question that comes to my mind is that we at University of Lucknow also has a faculty of management. You have been faculty of management department of different universities. You have been a professor of Indian Institute of Management, and you have been director also of several leading institutions, including us. So, how do you see the very trend of management education of university department vis-a-vis Indian Institute of Management?
Very interesting question, Professor Rai. And you have invited me to some nostalgic zone. Because in 1989, I started my teaching academic life with State University MBA department. And then I have also served Central University MBA department and working as director of IIM Trichy.
So probably you're the best person to address this question.
Well, I can say that I'm one of that rare species who has taken salary from all the higher academic institutions created by government.
Yeah.
So when I started my career in MBA department, it was having all ingredients which is needed for working in MBA department of university system. Has its own advantage and disadvantage compared to IIM system, and here I will be frank because I can give you first-hand information. Of late, we have been emphasizing after National Education Policy 2020, we should be multidisciplinary, and university, its structure is so naturally imbibed, woven, that it is multidisciplinary or cross-disciplinary or transdisciplinary automatically. Now, IIM has to put some effort to become multidisciplinary. But it is in the DNA of university to be multidisciplinary. And I remember, and I have been telling to some of the honorable vice chancellors of some universities that let there be a kind of open chopal in some central place of university where very informally taking tea, faculty would meet randomly without any plan and they will discuss something. From there, ideas emerge. Now, what happens in IIM? We also know variety of subjects.
Exactly.
But generally we discuss about the shades of management. First advantage of university system is that you are multidisciplinary, not by choice, but by design. Secondly, the thought process of university teachers, you're not bogged down by your own subject only, but you see how your subject, keeping at the center, actually serves the purpose of various other subjects. And that kind of grand integration takes place with your subject. And especially, I being a student of management can enter into any subject, isn't it? It may be physics also. Scientists need good training in team building, team decision making, leadership, interpersonal communication, and resolving conflict.
But then with all these advantages associated with university, why are IIMs more preferred destination for management students?
Yes. I would not like to use the word disadvantage of working in university MBA department over IIM, but certainly IIM has certain advantage working in that system. Faculty has certain advantage. For example, if you take any university MBA department and its departmental library, the budget would be very humble. I'm not saying the enormous budget only is indicator of good, say, practices, but electronic library of any IIM, you can compare that library's resource with any other library in any part of the globe. And resource of creating the base of knowledge resources, information resources, or if you want certain simulation which has certain price or certain case study which has certain price, IIM system feels comfortable investing on that. And let me tell that IIM is not an institution. Any IIM, if I'm allowed, I can talk on behalf of any IIM just now for a certain context. If we want to invest, we don't feel generally fund starved. And for quality education, we believe in investing properly. For example, for teaching a particular course of 10 session, if best mind, I'm sitting in Lucknow and best mind exists in Guwahati, So yes, 2 times he or she would come, and each time taking 5 sessions, and that will be called as a good investment. But I'm not sure, but all the universities in India cannot think in that fashion.
Exactly.
And so library resources, faculty resources, and in IIM what happens? Any faculty in his or her own area, and area also has multicolor, different shade. If you are, let us say, from finance area or marketing area or HR area or any area, in that area, it depends on your choice in which subject you would like to do research and would like to excel, would like to write a book, and you will be appreciated for serving that shade appropriately. Whatever you are working, it should be of a quality. Whereas maybe that in other system that there may be certain kind of dogmatic line drawn that you have to do something within this ridge line. The ridge line is also in IIM. Anywhere you show creativity, have quality and excel.
So from management institution to, let me move on to management education. Now what I've felt is that management education of late has become too business centric. So how do you see this business, too much of business orientation of management education, and what should be done to correct it?
Well, see, MBA, its nomenclature reads as Master of Business Administration. Business management is one part of whole dimension of management. That's why we do not call our institution as Indian Institute of Business Management. It is Indian Institute of Management.
Exactly.
But what happens since right from the inception, there have been investment or there have been a stakeholder, there had been, if you see the history of development of management institutes, business people have helped. And we should not mind that if, let us say, 80% of emphasis of management institute is on business management. But yes, 20% at least should be beyond business. Forget business and see that how we can manage, let us say, archaeological site, how we can manage our manuscripts, how we can manage our, let us say, dissemination of our cultural values.
Very interesting.
So management enters everywhere. Managing self, managing household, managing relationship, managing family values, managing social infrastructure.
What you're saying, sir, is leading me to another question that says, how prudent will it be to base the management education in Indian ethos, like Indian culture, Indian spirituality, Indian religion, religiosity? They all may play a very important role in furthering the cause of management education, instead of too much of orienting itself onto the business and profit. So how do you see this as a phenomenon?
First of all, let us respect that if management dialogue in this session or this class is focusing on business, let it focus business. But management is not limited to business, number one. Number two, best thing should be learned from anywhere. And we should not say it is Western or Eastern. Knowledge anywhere is actually knowledge in any geography of the world belongs to any part of the world. But when you talk about Indian culture, Indian values, spirituality, what has happened? Our methodology of exploring knowledge in ancient time has been more introspective. Extrovert, introvert, we should be both at a time, ambivert, because we need to think and we need to speak also. So, methodology which is introvert in nature has not been well appreciated till now by Western method of disseminating or creating knowledge appropriately. And Western method has been heavily depending on asking question, doing a survey, collecting data, analyzing, and then saying what data says. But point is that our methodology also has been meditative. It has just evolved. What is called in Urdu, that is ilham, hua, that has happened, and ideas came. So both methodology we should take care. Number one. Number two, why Indian culture and values have universal application? The scriptures or Indian literature, and that too what we say as a spiritual literature, they are like mirror. You keep evolving, they will keep giving different meaning. But I always caution my brothers and sisters in academia that if you want to apply Indian culture, values, and let us say scriptural dictates, we have to do very hard work. Just quoting something from here and there and superfluous, let us say, kind of
comprehending are two different things.
Very two different things. And if you comprehend, and when you comprehend, its meaning is that you would be able to give a contextual meaning to those perennial golden sentences.
Very true.
That is important.
Very true. Professional education has been at crossroads and have been termed as creating people who are less employable. Now, a lot of studies have come up, a lot of research and a lot of figures have come up, and many other studies have said that employability is a huge problem instead of rate of unemployment. So this employability can be addressed in two ways. In university system, we try to provide skill to our students through a lot of vocational programs and a lot of other such initiatives. In Indian Institute of Management and the institutes like yours have been based on specific skills. How important do you think is industry connect with respect to the overall management program? Like weaving the program with industry and creating programs in sync with that. How important is that to address the issue of employment?
Well, we academicians and the practitioners in industry, both we need to understand and empathize with each other. Point number one, I'll give just points. MBA is a leveler.
Okay.
So MBA education is not meant for creating management trainee. It is meant also to create future managing directors, because the base created here actually nurtures your future needs also, maybe for lifelong. Of course, lifelong continuous learning is needed, that is a different issue, but a base should be created. Now, if only base is created and one MBA who had just got convoked yesterday can philosophize on management but cannot apply any skill at the workplace, there is no use. Right. So, I say it, justifying the syllabi which should be updated at least every 2 years. And education has to go deeper into the, let us say, students, so that they have appreciation for continuous knowledge, number one. But once I do my MBA, next day I need employment also, and for that I need a skill. I call it going beyond syllabus. Because syllabus cannot promise everything. Let your syllabus be 100% updated and should promise certain depth. Now that 100% of syllabus is total 80% of your effort what you do for MBA in educational institution. Now what is remaining 20%? That is beyond syllabus. Okay. This 100% of syllabus is 80% of whole scheme, and remaining 20% has to be skill enhancement efforts. It should go in that direction. And when we talk about that, we should know what industries they need. And accordingly, academic institutions also can reciprocate and take steps in those directions. In defense forces, I find a good system. They receive two types of training necessarily. One is combat training, because that is the core of their expertise, and leadership training. MBA degree should keep two humble objectives in mind. That whole life learning orientation is created in the student, and if in future he or she wants to learn something, one can fall back upon the theoretical, or let us say conceptual framework given within MBA program. And secondly, for getting employment at entry-level managerial position, critical skills, let me count critical skills which are needed and which are debated and which are documented also. Critical skills to get a job just after doing MBA are like this. Number one, that how clear you are in your subject. So you can't neglect your MBA syllabi. You can't say, sir, I am in third term and the question you are asking, I studied in first term. This is not done. And secondly, we need that nowadays quantitative skills and communication skills, both are needed. Thiruvalluvar had said that your two eyes on the face are like quantitative skills and language skills. Okay. If you don't have these two, your two eyes are not eyes, they are only mark of wounds on your face. This was said by Thiruvalluvarji, who wrote Tirukkural 2050 years back. So these two are critical skills. Then we need written communication skills. And I would like to say that academic institutions should be a little careful, because in CAT also examination, CAT admission, a written test was not there earlier, descriptive writing. But it was introduced about a decade back, because CAT 99 percentile and doing good in interview and having good experience, 1 or 2 years experience, does not give clear indicator that you can write one paragraph meaningfully. Irrespective of any courses or program, I'll appeal to all sisters and brothers in academia, please be alert and empathetic and sympathetic and helpful towards creating writing skills of this generation. I am not complaining. Many of our daughters and sons are doing well, but in general I am talking about. Then other critical skill is that do you have certain practical implication? Even if you are not experienced, can you connect something at the workplace? That's why I always say MBAs must do their summer training very seriously. They should not search AC office during summer, because summer is meant for giving you heat. Okay, so that is important. And last one is very important for fresh graduate is poise, that is internal equilibrium. That's why well-being, certain meditation, being able to be, let us say, calm and quiet in a difficult situation, such kind of training, because poise has been identified as a critical skill at entry-level managerial position. So this 80-20 means 100% of quality syllabus is 80% of total scheme, and 20% is going beyond syllabus.
So one very interesting phenomenon that we are observing these days, especially in management education, is advent and excessive use of information technology. Now, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things have come and seems to be here to stay in almost all our functions. So how are institutions like yours addressing this in the framework of management education?
I will just take 3 quick steps to answer this. In this age, the conventional teachers, means those who go and teach in the classroom, every week should ask at least once the question to oneself: what is my eligibility to be a classroom teacher now, when informations are already available? It means the faculty role, irrespective of any subject, is to read between the lines, to read what is written by white ink on white paper, because black ink on white sheet is visible to students also. Only a professor who has invested years and years in the same subject can read what is not written there, or what is written by white ink on white page. That we need to supply, and we should be able to help the students to connect the things, that this information, add it or subtract, make it twice and subtract by 3 of x, this, what the pattern is emerging. So a kind of pattern emerging knowledge through the raw data collected through information technology, teachers should help. We encourage students to use technology, but we are also cautious. We also create policy to take students to task if they use technology. If it is not permitted to be used in the classroom, in the examination room, then they have to be taken to task. Regarding evaluation, academic institutions should be careful. They must have a good policy that how far we will allow, how far we will not allow. Or what are the creative ways of asking question, that whatever, if they may use the technology within the examination hall, and if it is allowed, but they will not be able to answer unless they have done a self-study. Second point. Third point is that I say to students, before you search any piece of knowledge through technology or internet or Google, if possible, please read 10 printed page on that subject, then you search. Otherwise, you will not search computer will start searching you. And secondly, if you have to read 10 pages if you are a student, for professors, I humbly suggest, please read at least 20 printed pages on that theme, on which you are going to search that through technology or internet or whatever is there. Technology is giving you material which has been created by human being only.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So why you want to be a perfect carbon copy, always looking for what others have created for you?
This can always ease our search and be used as a tool to augment.
That's fine. Please do it. Use it heavily. Know to use it. Never blame technology. Please never abuse technology. So point is that technology, salute to technology. But if you don't know how to use it, blame yourself rather than technology.
Exactly. You know, when I compare Indian Institute of Management with university management departments, we all would agree on one thing, and that is fees in IIMs are way too high. Now, what makes your program so highly charged vis-a-vis university system, and still students are like running for you?
First of all, that see, if I go to the very base of the things, value creation class by class. And as I earlier also urged, that for that value creation, if we find that one person who is not part of your regular faculty list anywhere from India, then he or she would teach. Value addition every class. Number 2, certainly the educational resources have become costly. And sometimes I think that certain countries have created different kind of strength and have started regulating management education as per they want to regulate. There is a struggle for maintaining your originality. But if you want to use, let us say, any case study created by Ivy League or let us say Harvard, so you have to pay money for that. Nextly, our in IIM system, whatever infrastructure are there, they are humble. It is not 5-star. We are not like many other rich universities, but everything is pick and span. Infrastructure or academic resources or faculty or external faculties arrangement, these all require certain money. And IIMs, they had been given seed money and then they have been asked to be on their own. Okay. So we earn our salary through our own efforts. And just I want to add that one indicator of good institution is that what is the percentage of the revenue that you generate per year is not part of getting generated through the student's fee. Means beyond student's fee, how much you generate. For example, my institution also generates a good humble money beyond the fee of students. But certain other elders, they are generating still more. We are also trying through consulting, through executive education. So I'm not making any argument that IIM fee should be so high. Means if I am given, let us say, just to give certain kind of dictation, I'll say fee should be low. But when I see realistically being at that position, I find that much is required, because through that only we keep building the institution also.
Now, I'm still left with one more question that I could not resist the temptation of asking. That in this industry 5.0, education 5.0 demands something more. Now, where do you see the management education faring in the context of industry 5.0 and education 5.0?
I think management education has more role to play in 5.0. Because if you compare industry 4.0 or education 4.0, in case of industry 4.0, still the technology is at the epicenter of the whole things, and human aspect, human consciousness is still playing a role there, but it is technology driven. But when we move from industry 4.0 to industry 5.0, technology has still more improved and it is more improving. But technology has to lose its space being at the center, because technology being at center is not dignifying for the whole scheme of humanity. So now technology, human being interface is at the center. Now an engineering student or professor is more busy creating technology. A medicine student is more busy creating researches for identifying or resolving any disease at earlier stage comparatively if possible. It is management students and management professors, and professor is also a student. I define management professor as management professor is a student who also receives a salary. Okay, so in that case, management teachers and students, total cohort, has a main role, because technology human interface, no other subject in the even university system can play the direct role for justifying the very basic scheme of industry 5.0 or education 5.0. So this new education, that is 5.0 based education or industry, is bringing the due dignity to human being back, as somewhere it was lost in, let us say, journey of somewhere industry 1.0 or 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0. 5.0 is more matured. Then future, I think it will be how technology can help you to elevate at a higher level of consciousness.
So true, so true. So that was Professor P.K. Singh in his own inimitable way explaining about management education and Indian Institute of Management System. I hope you got learning, ample learning. So thank you very much for watching my podcast, A World for Everyone. Thank you very much.